Ashley, this is about Liam, the guy you brought over the other day. Do you really plan on marrying a man like him out of everyone else? What? Well, he and I have already talked about wanting to get married, and I explained the same thing to you all. Remember how when I said I was bringing him over to the house, I said that this would be because he and I plan on marrying? I know that. I wasn't questioning that. But you haven't heard anything from him yet about how he's not interested in you, or you in him, leading to you guys no longer being engaged? Huh? Well, he might not want to really get married to you is all now. Would you please not talk about things like that when he and I are getting closer to our wedding? I was so happy to finally find a man that understands me the way I want to be understood. And you're going to talk about our relationship like that? And by the way, he would never just leave me for another woman like that at this time. I know. When both your dad and I met with him, we could tell he wasn't that kind of man. I'm not trying to talk badly about him or your guys' relationship, especially when he seems like a really decent man. Well, that better be the case. Then tell me, why are you asking questions like that, making it seem as though we would ever be calling off the engagement? Well, about all that, Ashley, I would like you to give Liam to Raina. Huh? Don't say huh to me like you can't hear or something. I really feel as though Raina and Liam would be a far better couple. That's why I'm wanting you to end your engagement with him right now, and then let Raina have him instead. Wait. We had a family meeting, and in that meeting we decided that Liam would be getting married to Raina, so you have no other option now. So starting today, Liam is Raina's fiancé. What the heck are you saying? I think your cute little sister is a far better match for someone like Liam, and I want them to get married. You are her older sister, and you want what's best for her, right? So you give Liam to her right now. Do you think Liam's going to be okay with something as ridiculous as this? Oh, well, I've never heard of there being a man on this planet who doesn't want to marry Raina. I mean, she's said to be the #1 most beautiful woman in this part of the state, right? In other words, this means he has no reason to stay with you over her. I have no idea what's gotten into you, Mom. No matter what you try and do, this marriage between Liam and Raina is going to happen. It's already been decided on. I'm going to talk with Liam right now about how I want him to leave you, so please do not get in the way of your little sister's love. And from now on, you are no longer to meet with Liam. Understand? Liam, has anyone from my family begun talking to you about anything yet? Anything that would really make you feel awkward about them?
Ashley, I was just about to text you asking about it.
So this means... so my mom has started to talk to you then?
Yeah, I was just getting a boatload of texts from your mom, and they're all so, well, let's just say I never knew someone out of your family could act that way. She wants me to start going out with your little sister. I didn't know how to respond back to her text after she said all that to me, so I was planning on asking you about it first.
She just started with that?
I'm not blaming any of this on your Ashley, but this was all a little... I just don't know what to think about your parents now. Especially your mom.
I see. I guess she did end up getting your phone number back when you came over to their house the other day. I'm sorry, Liam. I was hoping I could warn you in some way before she got to you. Her and I were just texting one another about it, and she told me she was going to tell you about it. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize for that.
Huh?
I told you that you're not to blame for this. And the only reason I was comfortable with giving your mom my number at the time is in case we ever needed to talk to one another about our marriage or the wedding. Had I known this would come from her, I would never have gave her my real number.
Just in case you need to talk to her?
Actually, when I came over to your house that day, your mom said to me that you had a cute little sister, and that I should be marrying her instead of you. And then she told me that she'd get you to leave me so I could have my chance with her. And well, at the time, I thought she was just joking and wanted my number for when we got closer to the wedding and all that. But today, I realised that I was totally wrong about her, and she wasn't kidding. She actually thinks that I'd be willing to just leave you and go to your little sister instead. I've never even met your little sister in person, let alone talk to her. What if she's not even close to the type of woman I want to be with?
I see.
This is all just... Well, I never thought this could get so far out of hand. She didn't seem serious at the time, but now I realise that she has me in her trap. I guess I never had a fiancé before, and have never gone to meet my fiancé's parents before talking about marriage, so I assumed something like that was a joke to lighten the mood. I would have never imagined she was being serious about it. What a way to change my views on life, when you and I are this close to being husband and wife.
I'm sorry.
You do not have to apologise to me, alright? I feel like I could just tell your mom no to all that right now, but for some reason I'm getting this feeling that a simple no won't be enough to stop her.
Yeah, you are totally right about that. When my little sister asks for something, or it's something my mom wants for her, there is nothing that'll stop them from getting it.
Seriously?
For the time being, you should just go find somewhere to hide.
Find somewhere to hide?
I'm sure that they'll be able to look up the address you live at, so you might want to find a place to lay low for a bit. They already know my address as well, so you might need to go find a friend or something to ask.
Then let me go ask one of my cousins if they'll let me stay at their place for a week or two.
Are you planning to ask your cousin from the next town over, who's in college now?
That's the one. I work freelance after all, so there's no need for me to worry about commuting to work or anything. And I'm sure I can give a good reason as to why I want to go stay with them for a while. And I don't think your mom or sister will ever be able to find me there.
That's true.
Alright, I'm going to ask right away. Right. I'm almost done with my lease at my current apartment, so we could probably start moving my things out of it to prepare for the move.
That'll require a lot more work, though.
Don't worry about it. When I've got things handled, I'll get back in touch with you.
All right. Be careful, okay? Ashley, I can see that you actually went through with the plan and broke up with Liam. I'm very happy that you listened to me. You have finally become the kind and thoughtful older sister Raina deserves to have. What? What are you talking about? I have not broken up with Liam yet. Huh? No way. You're still going on about how you want him to be your husband? Oh my God. There is something seriously wrong with you, isn't there? What are you doing? I'm not going to let you get away with stealing your little sister's happiness from her. Wait, what are you talking about, Mom? Like, really? They haven't even met one another in person yet, so how would she know if she really likes him or not? Remember? That time when I brought Liam over to see you and Dad, Raina was out of the house and she never came home to see him. I know, and their time to meet one another will come soon, but I know that when they meet, there will be no problems and things will continue on smoothly. What? Continue smoothly? Or are they actually going to meet? Back when Liam came over to our house with you, and after that, while he was walking home, your dad tailed him to find out where he's living. Huh? So I've had Raina go over there today, and she's going to meet with him right now. Are you joking? You had Dad stalk him like that? Well, you were never telling us where his address was then. We have to know what part of town he's in, considering he's going to be dating our little girl soon. What the heck? You guys are all messed up. Jeez, I'm glad I went ahead and messaged you today on a whim. Well, no matter what you have to say about it now, you're too late. I sent Raina over to his place, and I'm having her live with him now. She's living with him? I didn't want you thinking this was going on just yet, so I lied about her not meeting with him, but in reality, she's been over there for 3 days now. I can't believe things went so well for her that she's already being allowed to stay in his home. Is that right? That's right. All right, then. I get it now. So you guys are no longer going to need $2,000 a month from me, right? Huh? $2,000? What's that all about? Oh, you didn't forget about that, did you? 7 years ago, the company that Dad had been working for went bankrupt, and it took him a while to find himself another job thereafter. But that new job happened to pay him a lot less than what he was making before, so you guys asked me to start sending you both $2,000 a month. What? You've still been doing that for us? Well, you guys never told me to stop that, so I've just kept on sending you guys the money. All right? To be honest, I thought that $2,000 was a lot to be giving you guys each month, but back then you had Raina going to college, and she also had a lot of costs that needed to be paid for as well, right? And since I'm making a decent amount of money myself, I thought it'd be fine to send that kind of money to you all, as it was for the family. But now that you are having your younger daughter leave the house and she'll be cared for by her soon-to-be husband, that must mean that you and Dad don't need my money anymore. Dad should be making pretty decent money by this point, so I see no need to send you the $2,000 each month anymore. So in other words, there is no point in me sending you a monthly allowance, right? Wait a second. We can go get Raina back right now. Huh? And you no longer have to leave Liam for us. So actually, can you please keep sending us that $2,000 every month? What? I'm going to talk with Raina right now, so please keep that money coming to us. Liam, you going to your cousin's place and moving out of your apartment was a perfect move.
Huh? Did something happen then?
Apparently my dad followed you home after you came over to visit my parents that one time, and he found out where you were living.
Like he stalked me?
And, well, later on they had Raina go to that apartment to go and see you.
What the? That's terrifying.
And, well, my mom told me that Raina and you have started living with one another.
Huh? I'm not living with her at all, though.
Yeah, I know that. But if my mom thinks she's out living with you, then where is Raina gone? And what?
What's wrong? Do you have an idea?
I just got a notification saying that Raina tried calling me. It's rare for her to ever call me like that. And whenever I try talking to her, she never answers.
I'm sure it has to do with what's been going on here, so try calling her back.
I'll do that, I guess. Here we go. Ashley! We have no idea what happened to Raina or where she went! Do you have any idea? What? And also, Liam wasn't over at that apartment either. I thought that she was living in that place with Liam this whole time. Did they both run away from me? Well, you're half correct. What? But she's not with Liam right now. What? What do you mean by that? I heard about it from Raina herself. You knew that Raina had a boyfriend this whole time, right? Her boyfriend happens to work as a contractor, so you assumed that he wasn't making all too much money. So you tried to get in the way of those two and find a way to get them to break up so that you could have her go out with Liam. Well, that's... because if she had to marry some dirty contractor who's barely making any money, I'd feel so bad for her. And that's why you wanted her going out with my fiancé? I'm not going to let her go out with some nasty-looking hick from who knows where when Liam is a far better man. Well, listen to this, Mom. I happen to know where he's working as a contractor. The place happens to be known throughout the state as one of the best places to work with very good pay and benefits. What? And the CEO happens to be liked by pretty much all his workers. Of course, doing the work all of the workers have to do is hard on their bodies, but he makes sure everyone has good health insurance and that they get enough PTO each year to take time to relax themselves. I think that he's actually working for a really, really good company right now. But in your case, you never bothered to look up the company he's at and just chose to think he was poor. I never thought there'd be a company like that, though, for contractors. Had you just listened to Raina, you might have understood things better. But it's too late for that now. Too late? About Raina. When you told her to go to Liam's place and stay with him, she took that opportunity and ran back to her boyfriend's house and has been staying there. She ran to his place? They happen to be getting married now, too. Why do you know all of this stuff? Well, because yesterday I got a call from her and we spent all night talking with one another about what's been going on. I'm sure that you and Dad tried your best to get her to have the life you wanted her to have, and I was jealous at times about how much you cared about her, but not me. However, now I feel as though neither Raina or I was ever really cared for by you or Dad. And, well, last night I was finally able to hear about Raina's feelings as well. Ashley, about that $2,000, will you... Wait, are you serious? Now, of all times? Well, look, your dad's income hasn't really gone up at all since he was first hired, and, the cost of living here. It's just the two of you now, so you should be more than capable of living there with Dad's income. But wait, you're not working at all, right? Me? Why are you surprised? This is your time to be a good wife and find yourself a job, right? As for Raina and I, we have both found ourselves amazing men to make our husbands. That means we are no longer going to be letting you into our lives, causing us all kinds of trouble. All right? A few days after that, my mom and dad got a divorce. My dad wasn't making a whole lot of money with his current job, and my mom didn't like that about him. But when he brought up the idea that she could get a job as well, she flipped out. Anyway, the way I found out that those two would be getting a divorce was right after I told them about how Raina and I would both be getting married. My mom apologized to me then and said she'd be leaving my dad for good. You might think that after this, my whole family fell apart, but right after my mom told us about the divorce, my dad, sister, and I started a group chat where we keep one another up to date on our lives. Now that Raina's married, she's asked us to come to her wedding in the next couple of months. And even said that Liam was invited too, so that means she can see him for the first time. But I had to make sure she knew not to have that wedding around my wedding because Liam and I are set to be wed in the next month. And just today we went to the courthouse and handed in our marriage forms. When it comes to my dad, he no longer has to support another adult on his income. And as a single man, he's actually making enough to support himself comfortably. He told us he plans on selling the house soon and using that money to move into a smaller house where he won't have to clean as much of it. As for my mom herself, she didn't have any parents to go back to, and all of her brothers and sisters lived too far away and weren't that close to her to begin with. Out of all the stages in her life, she's learning how hard it is to live on your own in her late 60s. She has a job of her own now, but it's only enough to afford her a one-bedroom apartment and a little bit of food each week. And since she's now living life like the poor, she spends all day and night in her room, crying and crying and crying.